Hey, what if I told you there were 5 snack foods that you're giving your child every day and you may not know that they're causing your child to wet the bed, have frequent ear infections, and also not be able to learn or pay attention in school? Would you believe that? Today I'm going to discuss the 5 worst snack foods with you and why they may be causing the symptoms that I mentioned. So let's get it cracking. Hey, what's cracking? This is Darren PhatMan McDuffie, and as promised, I'm going to discuss with you the 5 worst snack foods that you're giving your child today, and you may not know that it's causing the symptoms that I mentioned before when it comes to wetting the bed, having frequent ear infections, and the inability to learn or pay attention when they're in school. The first product I wanted to talk about was Lunchables. If you follow me for any amount of time, I did a video on Lunchables maybe a year or so ago, a year and a half ago, and I'll remember to post that link on here so you can watch that video as well. But Lunchables are one of those products I love to hate, just simply because they are loaded with a lot of stuff in there, and we're just going to kind of go down the line and talk about some of them. I know a lot of parents out there give these Lunchables to their kids because they're convenient, they come in a little pouch, they look good, and the kids seem to like them. But what they don't know is these are products. They're not food. They're products, meaning that they're engineered in a lab that taste good and also engineered to be addictive. So that's one of the tidbits I wanted you to take away from the video today. Now, when it comes to Lunchables, there are 3 common allergens, or 3 frequent allergens, and even adults have these food allergens or food sensitivities, and some of them don't know it. The 3 are wheat, milk, and soy. So if you look on the ingredient list, I have those circled here, and I'll show you that picture. You can see wheat, milk, and soy are in there, and again, they are the most common allergens. Now, what you may not know is when a child ingests these things, it can cause them to have frequent ear infections, as I mentioned. It can also cause them to wet the bed, and it can cause them not to be able to learn because they have disruptive behavior, and you have no idea how these different things can affect a child. For some, it may make them very, very lackadaisical. For some, it may make them hyper. All children have different type of temperaments that may come about as a result of ingesting these allergens. Another thing in Lunchables is sucralose. Sucralose is what I call the cousin to aspartame. It's an artificial sweetener, and it has been linked to a lot of neurological side effects. So if you have a child that's autistic, you probably don't want to give them something with sucralose in there. If you have a child that may have something to do with their body, muscle twitching or MS or anything like that, you really don't want to have them ingesting something with sucralose in there. Another thing in Lunchables is BHA. BHA is used as a preservative, and it's also been linked to cancer. So why would you want to give your child something with these types of ingredients, especially something like BHA, which has been linked to cancer? So the number 1 food, and these aren't in any particular order, but the number 1 snack food is Lunchables. Number 2 is Little Debbie snack cakes. I used to love these things when I was a kid, oatmeal pies and the Swiss rolls, and just wanted to talk to you a little bit about the ingredients that are in there. I don't need them anymore, and I'm going to talk about the ingredients so you can be aware of them for your kids. First ingredient is sodium aluminum phosphate. This is actually found in cheeses and a lot of different products. But again, as you can guess, aluminum crosses the blood-brain barrier, and it's been found in a lot of patients who have Alzheimer's or dementia. The aluminum deposits have been found in their brain. So it's one of those products that can be linked to early onset of Alzheimer's. And we're having a big problem with that in our society right now. A lot of people are suffering from Alzheimer's and dementias. The second thing is polysorbate 60. It's actually used as a thickening ingredient in a lot of these cake and cookie type products, and it has been linked to cancer. The third thing is something that many people don't pay attention to, but I want you to pay attention to it, and that's the number of dyes. Yellow number 5, red 40, blue 1. Many kids are sensitive to these dyes, and it can be a situation where your kid could be very, very calm, eat something like this and go into a manic state or start crying or any different things. So there are a lot of kids out there that are sensitive to these dyes. So you really want to be aware of them. I remember interviewing Dorothy Rapp on my Perfectly Healthy and Toned radio show, and she has been doing research on this for years. And I recall watching her video, and they had a kid that was actually sensitive to fluoride, and they injected that kid with fluoride. And it was the difference between night and day. You had a really calm kid, and then when they experienced this type of allergen or chemical sensitivity, they went into a different child, very disruptive. The mother couldn't control the child. So again, these types of dyes in these foods can really affect your child. So that's number 2, Little Debbie snack cakes, especially those Swiss rolls. Number 3 is Teddy Grahams. You know those cute little bears? Well, let's talk about them as well. So Teddy Grahams rather, I said teddy bears, but Teddy Grahams rather, are made from wheat and soy. And as you remember from the first product that I discussed, wheat and soy are some of the most common food allergens. A lot of children have food sensitivities, and you really want to be careful if you are using a product like this. And I keep saying product because this is not really food. These are things that are made in a lab. So number 3 is Teddy Grahams. Sugar is listed on the ingredients probably about 3 times in different forms. So you have corn syrup, which is being used. You have regular sugar that's being used, and you also have fructose, which is being used as well. And fructose is pretty unique in that it is metabolized by the liver. So if you take in too much fructose, then it has the propensity to kind of put a heavy strain on the liver. So you really want to steer clear of that when you're dealing with a product like Teddy Grahams. So number 3 again is Teddy Grahams. Number 4 is Goldfish. Goldfish are those crackers that the kids love to eat because they have cheese in them. I have no idea why kids love cheese, but they just do. And there are 2 ingredients that we really need to be concerned about when it comes to Goldfish. The one is ammonium bicarbonate. Ammonium bicarbonate has been linked to skin irritations and also respiratory ailments. So what does this mean to us? Now, I don't know whether you have children or not, or you're just watching the video, but if you do have children, you know that at some time or another, your child has had some type of skin rash. Have you ever thought that it might be because of something that they're eating, especially if a product has ammonium bicarbonate in it? So that's what you want to look out for. The second thing is respiratory ailments. A lot of children have bronchitis or have asthma. By giving them these products, it can trigger those symptoms with you or trigger that within them. And the next thing you know, you're in the emergency room for an asthma attack. And you really want to steer clear of these products. A lot of times we don't associate that food is bringing on these symptoms, or food is triggering or being a catalyst when it comes to disease. The second thing about Goldfish is that they have autolyzed yeast. Autolyzed yeast is just another way of saying MSG, or monosodium glutamate. Monosodium glutamate has been banned from our food supply. It's a food additive used to make things taste better, but it also makes things addictive. Now, instead of putting MSG in your food, what food manufacturers have done, they've gotten really smart. What they've done is they've taken MSG and renamed it. So if you see something that has autolyzed yeast in it, hydrolyzed, there's a number of other names that are out there as well. But for the purpose of Goldfish, we're just going to say that autolyzed yeast is MSG. So you really want to steer clear of this. And MSG, or the many names that it falls up under, like autolyzed yeast, is an excitotoxin. What it does is it excites the brain cells to death. And if you've been going over this video, you know that I've talked about dementia, I've talked about Alzheimer's, and all these things are neurological conditions. So we really don't want anything which excites our brain cells to death and our brain cells end up dying. We need all of our brain cells. So number 4 is Goldfish. And just a short saying about Goldfish as well is they also contain grains, and a lot of kids are having problems with grains as well, and we've touched on this in the other product. So that's number 4. On to number 5. All right, the last product is number 5, and it is Capri Suns. Now, the only thing about Capri Sun that kind of raises suspicion with me is the amount of sugar. So you know that the juices come in those pouches, and it contains about 2 teaspoons of sugar. Sugar has a lot of detrimental effects when it comes to our health, especially a child's health. You have to really realize that a child
their immune system, their body isn't as well developed as an adult is. So anytime you're dousing them with 2 teaspoons of sugar in a drink, then there's really a lot of suspicion when it comes to that. And if your child is anything like me when I was a child, chances are they're not just going to drink just one Capri Sun, they're probably going to drink another and another and another. And it's the accumulation over time of the sugar that has the detrimental effects. As we mentioned before, fructose in the liver can cause a lot of ill effects. We have a lot of children that are obese, and if they're drinking these drinks containing fructose, it can definitely cause that, as well as other health problems that are related to the consumption of sugar. Now, what can you do as a parent to actually help your child? Number one thing is make your own snacks. There's a lot of internet websites that specialize in gluten-free snacks. If your child might become sensitive to wheat, you can make your own. Just follow the recipes off the internet. You can also go into the stores, places like Whole Foods. A lot of these different stores that are popping up, they sell natural organic products, sell a lot of these things with reduced sugar content in them. I believe that there's a juice that I've seen in Whole Foods, can't recall the name of it right now, in regards to a reduced sugar content. So if you're concerned about that, and concerned about maybe giving your kids something that's a little bit better, check out Whole Foods, go there and ask them for the types of juices that you can get with reduced sugar in there. And again, make your own stuff. A lot of things you can make, you can save yourself a lot of money, and you know what's actually going in and what your child is consuming. So hope you learned something from the video. This has been Darren PhatMan McDuffie, helping you become perfectly healthy and toned. Please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you on the next video. Thank you.